Great. Hello and welcome everyone to the third annual LaunchU event sponsored by the Hershey Company, Merit, and Cargus. Today's event is being produced by Harrisburg University and specifically our CIE, which is our Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. With us from the CIE is the Executive Director, Jay Jayamohan, and he's going to kick us off right now. Jay?
Good morning, everybody. This is the most exciting day for CIE, or one of our most exciting days. This takes a lot of work to get here. So welcome to everybody who are attending this. And a special shout out to the 7 finalists. It's an incredible job that they have made up to this point. We started LaunchU as kind of an internal competition for HU. And from there, it has grown over the last couple of years into this global event, right? I mean, we now have applications coming all the way from Latin America, from Turkey. Last time we have had universities and students from Canada. And we have split it into high school and undergrad students for this one. And then we will hold a separate one for, fully fledged businesses that want to compete. The CI is all about supporting anybody who has an idea, who always thought that, hey, my idea might be interesting. Maybe I want to take this to the next level. So we call all of these people our hackers, our hipsters, and our hustlers. So everybody, I believe that everybody has an inner hacker, hustler, and a hipster. And essentially, a hacker is somebody who's a problem solver. You can think of an engineering mindset. Hipster is somebody who understands the customer, who is cool, who is a marketing person. A hustler is somebody who can sell, who connects to the customers and can convince them to buy and pay for something that you have built. And the most interesting thing for us today is that there is an amazing group of youngsters here who all have some of these hacker, hustler, and hipster personalities. And what we hope is that when we are young, when we see something, we always ask, what can I do with it? And as you grow older, when you see something new, it's always like, what is it, right? So what we are hoping here to all the people, all the adults that are attending this event today, is that these 7 youngsters can inspire your inner hacker or hustler or hipster, that you will start looking at things and saying, what can I do with it? How can I solve a problem? So that is one of the most important things that we hope to achieve with this from the attendee part. And the 7 finalists, we hope this is the beginning of an amazing journey for you, that you go on and build great companies, great innovations, solve, major problems out there that's needed. And every day there is something, unique that needs a solution. And I hope that we inspire these 7 people to go on do amazing things. With that said, the Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship has an incubator space that we provide free space by taking a very small equity stake in a company and provide them with free space. We provide them with support with student employees. We give them access to the amazing facilities of Harrisburg University, which is a science and tech university, and hope to help them build these companies to the next level. So these competitions can kind of be thought as the first step in getting there. So with that said, we have been able to create an amazing impact in this region over the last 2.5 to 3 years that we have been here. This started from the ground up. But the best advantage for us and why we have been successful is because we started out with one of the most innovative universities that I have ever seen or worked with. Harrisburg University is really the most innovative, flexible in how they approach the educational part, and especially with the experiential learning part. So entrepreneurship has been a key piece of that. And I think the reason for that is the leadership of the university. So it's my pleasure and my honor to hand this over and welcome our keynote speaker, the president of Harrisburg University, Dr. Eric Dar.
Thank you, Jay. I appreciate that. My I'd like to add my welcome to the 7 finalists and panelists on today's LaunchU event, and also thank the sponsors, Hershey, Merit, and Cargis, for their support and belief in what we're doing with the CIE. Part of the mission of Harrisburg University, it's actually written into the mission statement of the university, is support for new business creation. This was part of the founding ideas of the university 20 years ago, that the university, yes, would provide cutting edge education in science and technology, math, to address the world's problems, to educate the workforce of tomorrow, to work with businesses in Pennsylvania, and now it's expanded to businesses around the world, to create a workforce that was educated in science and technology and math that they couldn't find elsewhere. But also part of the founding mission, in addition to our educational purpose, was this support for the creation of new businesses. And it was really the idea that intellectual property that would be created by our students or our faculty, or our interactions with our business and government partners, would lead to the idea of creating new businesses and new companies. And so the university views what we're doing with regard to the Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship as mission driven. That is, it is as important to us as the educational programs that we provide. And what's interesting about the part of the world we sit in, central Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania in general, is that, yes, we have many entrepreneurial individuals that are in the state of Pennsylvania, but the support for business creation, the support for new founders is very diverse and not very well connected. And so if you're a founder, and if you're somebody that has an idea for a new business, trying to navigate where to go get help, where to get support, is not always clear. It doesn't mean the support isn't there. It just means, how do you find it and how do you leverage that support is often difficult and discouraging. And so we view the Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship as an anchor, if you will, or a way of focusing all of the different efforts, not just by Harrisburg University, but by other well-meaning institutions across Pennsylvania, as a way of harnessing all of the great support that exists for the founders. And again, we don't view that Harrisburg University has to do it all, but that perhaps coming through Harrisburg University, and specifically through the Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, founders will connect with those others that can support them on their journey to creating a wildly successful new business. And we view the LaunchU event as just the beginning of creating a new business, of recognizing those that have a vision, have an idea for changing the world, have an idea for a new technology, and they need some recognition, they need some initial support, they need a way of moving forward with their ideas. And again, viewed this LaunchU event as the beginning of that journey. And we're thrilled to have today 7 great finalists that I think you'll be very surprised and very excited about some of the ideas that are presented here today. I know winners, finalists of past LaunchU events have gone on to successfully create businesses and are on their path and on their journey to building a terrific new company. And we're excited about the prospects for today's 7 finalists as well. In addition to the LaunchU event, the Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship also supports innovation and entrepreneurship within larger corporations or government agencies here in Pennsylvania. And so it's a different way of thinking. How does one think entrepreneurially, or think about new innovative ways of envisioning markets or development of technologies when you're an established business? And we work with established businesses to break out of their molds, to imagine new futures for themselves, that's another part of what the Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship does. And yes, oh, by the way, it also provides education about how to create businesses, how to think entrepreneurially, what frameworks can be applied when you're thinking about a new business problem or a business solution that you think you may have hit upon. And so we're excited about all of the very different aspects that the center provides out into the world around us. So again, enjoy today. The 7 finalists have already worked tremendously hard to get to this point, and we're excited about their futures. So thanks very much for being part of LaunchU and a supporter of the Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. Have a great day.
Thank you very much, Dr. Dar. As Dr. Dar mentioned, Harrisburg University is truly committed to promoting entrepreneurship as a key part of really everything that we do. And we thank Dr. Dar for his insight and direction in that area. So at this point, we are going to begin moving into the presentations from each of our groups. The format for today's event is going to involve each group presenting for 8 minutes, and then that's going to be followed by 3 minutes of QA with our judges. Our first group is the Hive group, and they are going to be on shortly to tell us more about their idea.
Hi guys. We're so excited to be here to get the chance to present Hive to you guys. Over like the past few months, we've been working pretty hard on this idea and just perfecting it to help fit everyone's moderations.
So we're actually going to start off by introducing ourselves. My name is Bella Brida.
And I'm Emerson Hoover.
And we are juniors at Trinity High School in Camp Hill, Pennsylvania.
We started our creative journey with Hive in September of 2021 when our brainstorming project for Shark Tank first appeared. We're very passionate about providing help to others and assisting to find easy solutions to problems.
So, has anyone here ever been driving in a car with someone who has a food allergy or intolerance and wants a specific restaurant option? It can be an absolute pain in the beehive. Actually, survey data shows that 93% of Americans want to eat healthy some of the time, and 63% want to eat most or all of the time. I know for me personally, a few years ago, my dad was diagnosed with diabetes, and ever since then, it has been an absolute challenge to find restaurants that can accommodate everyone's likes, interests, and needs while also following a diabetes-based diet.
My mom also struggles with problems with her blood sugar, so she really likes to maintain that healthy lifestyle and continuously eating healthy to try to make sure her levels are balanced.
And both of these stories combined are really what gave us the idea for this company in the first place and is really our passion behind making this possible. We see an opportunity in creating a mobile app that allows for GPS navigation to healthy restaurants that match to your specific health goals and healthy eating preferences using our algorithm.
The underlying magic. We design a Hive homepage that easily allows customers to enter and modify their personal health data and specific food preferences. This can include profile, age, food preferences, allergies, goals, and etc. Automatic filters will be designed to select restaurants and food vendors that will radically reduce time to find a healthy option. When the customer clicks on the healthy food option that they like, a directional bee assistant will guide them to their restaurant or Hive. The car navigation will provide the shortest and most convenient route based on the customer's travel preference. This could include highways, back roads, busy streets, stoplights, and stuff like that.
And by doing this, we really wanted to create an opportunity to accommodate as many people as possible. And this overall just includes taking into consideration everyone's personal preferences when it comes to travel, when it comes to eating, and when it comes to finding a restaurant that's the best match for them. So for our business model for Hive, we have set up where you can download our app for free from the App Store. And upon downloading this app, you can receive a 7-day free trial. After that 7-day window's up, Hive will cost $5 per month or a discounted $50 a year to use the service. After running this app, we think it is actually quite possible to get 10,000 users or $50,000 per month after 2 to 3 year time window. At some point in the near future, we may move to offer limited advertising opportunities on the app that appear in a classy and meaningful way that really have a connection to our customers. Overall, we really want Hive to be a super frictionless experience for every guest.
Our go-to market plan. A Hive social media platform on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook can help viewers interact and look at stories, and that will be our primary marketing tool. We will also push public relations to garner mentions in blogs, magazines, and health websites. We would also really like to negotiate endorsements with well-known doctors or experts if it gets to that level.
So we do recognize that there is some limited competition out there, but again, we'd like to stress that this is limited, and Hive overall will be much more specific for each user's health preferences, offer a far more robust restaurant opportunities, and have extremely simple navigation like the Uber app. Overall, we don't recognize that there are too many apps that specifically duplicate the overall goal of Hive, but similar navigation apps could pose as a form of competition, as well as services such as Yelp that offer menu search options. The difference that Hive offers is that we are a lot more personal to you as a customer, and we really stress the importance of really connecting to each guest personally versus just offering an overall experience.
Why we buzz above the rest. Unlike our competitors, we believe in a dining experience that is specifically tailored to our individual health needs.
We want to know more about you as a customer and your health so we can find the best restaurants that match your personal needs.
We prioritize only showing things you like, cutting out all the extra options.
Lastly, we will make the navigation easy and fun to use for all ages. We'd really like to take this time to thank everyone who came to watch today and has really taken some consideration into Hive. Getting our buzz started couldn't be possible without you, and we thank everyone that's helped us along the way.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you very much, Emerson and Bella. At this point, we're going to start with 3 minutes of questions and answers from our judges. So if our judges can turn on their webcams and unmute their microphones, we're going to have 3 minutes of QA with our judges. So the floor is yours, judges.
I can jump in first, if that's okay. So great presentation. I really like this idea. I would use this app myself, and I have family members I know that would also use it. So I think you're really on target here. I have a question and just kind of a suggestion to throw out there. So the question is around the menu data and how detailed can you get and how much work that would be. It seems like that's the most complicated part, to get all of that data out of all of these restaurants and then be able to actually see what's in each thing, and be able to, match that up with your health preferences. So my question is, like, how much have you thought through that part of the process?
Well, we definitely recognize the struggle in that, but if we take the time to pair up with these restaurants and really go through their menu items and break down the ingredients within it, and if the user wants to take time to like put in what they're allergic to, for example, or like things that they don't or like can't have,
Yep.
it would help like specifically like tailor the app and the menu items more towards.
Yeah,
the
so we
person.
did some research as to what sort of work would have to go into getting this information, and we just honestly individually have to start reaching out to restaurants ourselves and really getting a detailed list of ingredients that may not be able to be found online
Yep.
necessarily, because we really want this to be a authentic and like 100% truthful representation of what would be on the menu.
Very cool. Yeah. So, and that's great. The suggestion, or just a thought to throw out there, is I know there's a pretty big industry around these fitness calorie counting apps like MyFitnessPal, Lose It, and they have huge food databases in them already. And you could have this could be a future connection for you, maybe if you build this app, if you could integrate to that, because if you could find the restaurant, find your meal, you order it, and then feed the data directly into those apps, or a relationship between there could be something to think about. So I just want to throw that out there.
No, yeah, that's an absolutely great suggestion that I really think would be a beneficial partner down the road.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, of
Of
course.
course.
I think from my end, this is Irma from the Hershey Company. So have a very similar question to Aaron, but since Aaron already threw it out, my second question is more from cost benefit. I think we talked through a lot also in the deck around the revenue model, but have you talked through the cost of the investment that will be needed to get you started with to develop this app?
Like the cost for the startup
Mhm.
process?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean,
To be honest, we really planned on as a start just to get money generated to start reaching out to various restaurants. We really planned on starting to reach out for donations or just to generate just some startup money we could really use to get out to some major restaurants that are most popular. And we could really just start with that as like a baseline and then continue to grow down the road.
yeah, because this wouldn't really be possible without the restaurants and them giving their time to sort through items with us and really care about people of the community's health.
Yeah, this idea is very much based on a connection between restaurants and us and our customer, and everyone really has to be in a collective loop where it's very interconnected. And yeah, we do think that donations would probably be a good baseline as to raise money for a startup.
Yeah, but we also do realize that not all of the generated money will come from donations, obviously.
Yes.
But that's a good starting point, in our opinion.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Of course.
Are we at time, guys? Or
If you want to get a quick one, yeah, we want to try to stick to the 3 minutes. This is great stuff, though. So if you want to get a quick one, please, Jeanette.
mine was just along the lines of Irma's great presentation, ladies. Just wondering if you guys were going to build the algorithm or if you were going to contract that out to someone, and I guess the costs involved with that as part of your break-even analysis. But yeah, I wasn't sure if you guys were secret coders or programmers.
No, unfortunately, we are not secret coders. So we did plan on reaching out to companies that specialize in coding and setting up an algorithm for an app. And we really planned on using part of like our initial donation startup to really reach out and just get like, maybe just like, I don't want to say a free trial, but just really get like, I don't know, like a connection with them and talk through what it would really take to get algorithm consistently for our app.
Gotcha. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for that great presentation. Bella and Emerson with the Hive Group, thank you. If I'm going to ask
Good afternoon. My name is Herman Rami, and I'm the CEO and founder of Walker Industries, where we believe you should overcome, achieve, and exceed. Now, I found out there was a problem with virtual reality. Right now, although 1 in 15 people from the United States owns a VR headset, with 70% of US citizens being familiar with virtual reality, the leading VR companies, high performance, that we build over a high field of vision is sacrificed and its price is exuberant. Let's take the Oculus Quest 2, for example, that has a good resolution and field of vision, but it can't run anything that can't run on a potato. And there's even a Microsoft HoloLens, and while it does have good processing, it's like looking into a box. Now, users are very disappointed when they look at the immersiveness of the experiences and are confused by the difference in their expectation for VR compared to the reality. Now, this and the price cap and limited capabilities can cause VR to look undesirable. This is where the vector gear comes in. The vector gear is a virtual and augmented reality headset in the form factor of glasses. It has high processing speed for more advanced games and software. The motherboard is a wireless linked to the optic system, more about that later. The vibrant display with wide field of vision. It requires no external trackers like towers or even a controller, and it's made to last long term. Now, the vector gear is made of 3 parts. The optical system is the glasses. The processing board is actually a board that's pretty much similar to the form factor of a phone, and the software. So there's 90 degrees of field of vision on each eye and a resolution of 3.2K combined, although we do want to get it higher. There's wireless HDMI to motherboard connection, and there's NVMe SSD 2.0, 50 gigabytes in the optical system and 500 gigabytes in the processing storage. There's also a wireless 4K 60 FPS connection to their processors. Aside from that, we're using the AMD Ryzen 305G CPU on the actual processor board, and we're using the NVIDIA MX250 GPU. With 16 gigabytes of RAM and 4 gigabytes of VRAM with 64 gigabytes eMMC, it is Arch Linux based, but it is Windows friendly as well. The size again of the processing board is similar to a phone, and you can go from 0 to full in minutes thanks to the batteries that we're using. Aside from that, we are using a custom shell operating system called the Serios, or the extended reality user interface operating system that's created by Walker Industries, aka me. It is closed source and copyrighted, but eventually we do want to make it completely open source like Linux. It's also compatible with non-vector gear headsets such as the Acer Mixed Reality and is VR and AR compatible. It uses KZ encryption, which is an encryption system I developed that's made to be post-quantum cryptography proof. And we have a current goal of making it 6 hours without leaving charge. Now, we are working with a few partners right now. For example, MSI is the one who's actually making the optics and motherboard system. Ampride is giving us bleeding edge batteries. USA Cyberpunk is giving us Cyberpunk Summit that we're going to use inside of our actual Indiegogo campaign. More about that later. And Operating Revolution Creations LSD is giving us exosuits who will be changed to a lightweight full body tracking rig because of how flat they are. However, we've been also talking to a lot of other companies. For example, 2 Interactive is going to create an example applications for vector gear like more games. Codefirm is going to create a custom XR engine and SDK, while Fission is going to create a custom fiber optic and server infrastructure. For all of these partnerships, we're looking at both long-term and short-term for things like the software and the hardware. Now, this is how the vector gear first started out many years ago, right? And this is how it currently looks. As you can see, it's based off the MSC E812 model, which is customized, and I also customized as well. It has a camera, so you just slam tracking, which means it doesn't need any type of towers, and you can always get your position by just using that camera. Here's also the Serios, which essentially takes full advantage of it being in a 3D space to go and always give the user a comfortable yet intuitive user interface. Each design was within Figma before being remade in Unity. Now, for market analysis, we found that standalone VR headsets occupy 89.8% of global AR and VR headsets today. Approximately 70% of Americans today are familiar with VR technology, as we already know. And virtual reality technology, together with AR, can boost the global economy by 1.9 trillion by 2030. Finally, Steam, which is a game distribution and launcher company, has reported over 55.4 million users that are active on a monthly basis. Now, this is very important because it shows that there's this very huge space for virtual reality and gaming. However, we actually did do our own pre-launch advertising campaign for just 4 hours on a budget of $400. And from that, we were able to get 1.8 million people to view the ad and 30,000 clicks. However, we did only get 60 people to sign, and we do believe that this is because of the Indiegogo pre-launch campaign, as Indiegogo does actually limit the images that you can put and how much text, but we did already make our own website. Aside of that, I was able to get data such as the best audience segments, average click to email ratio, the estimated advertising budget needed, and the best locations to target. So our target market is essentially anyone ranging from the age of 18 to 34, leaning towards male, either not being a parent or just having older children, being located in California, New Jersey, New York, Texas, Illinois, or Florida, and either buying a VR or AR headset for gaming, or they already own the PSVR and Oculus users, or they're trying to upgrade that. We have a full market population of around 148.3 million and a target market population of 55.4. And our current goal is to have 2,000 people in our pre-market crowd and then grow from 4 to 6% each week or each month if possible. So for our marketing plan, we're essentially using YouTube sponsorships, Google advertising, and physical demos. For our YouTube sponsorships, we've already been outreaching to different YouTubers, as you can see to the right, for example, and we're actually going to send them a vector so that they can review it on their channels. For the Google advertising, we talked about it for a little, and for the physical demos, we're using events such as GDC and IEE VR to go and actually showcase the vector gear to create even more talk about it. Then, of course, when we're going into an industry that already has so many VR headsets, we have to make sure it's extremely better. So we look at all the different mainline headsets that we made sure that it would. So for example, you have the Valve Index. That both has external tracking and you need a PC. So instead of for us, we use slam tracking, which only requires a camera and a full-size motherboard. And then there's PSVR, for example, which has low graphics and it's a console, and we already have our own custom GPU and motherboard solution. Everything within the vector year is either to be patented or it's when a contract deal with an NDA, except KGE, which is the encryption system, and is within copyright attribution 4.0 international, being open sourced. Our cost source right now essentially is $1,300. Well, the $990, but we're actually selling for $1,300. But we do believe that we can have this price lower because Messi is taking care of already the main headset and the motherboard and manufacturing. However, by switching out some of the materials and actually having custom camera units made, we believe that we can have the the contribution margin go from 310 to around 500. So we need around 4 units to go and actually break even every month. And in the case that we actually do go and sell it at $500, for example, we took things from example HTC Vive and the Oculus Quest, and we were able to go and average all of them out to see our best and worst case scenario. In our goal case scenario, every year we would make around $31.2 million. In our very best case, $93.6 million, and our worst case, $15.6 million. With a 1% share being $20,500, you can obviously see there is a huge return here. Now, overall, we do have the goal of having $410,000 invested in so we can go and create a final version and reduce the cost as well as create a crowd. $20,500 will get you 1% share, and this goes up to 35%, which is around $700,000. This is you to pay a message to create the optic system and buy Ampere's batteries, place your product at Best Buy, Walmart, and etc. Although we will be starting at Amazon and eBay. We want to create a larger pre-market crowd, attempt to make the device cheaper while adding more functions and improving the optic systems. And we are looking at creating our own game studio for large-scale, even line-based VR and RPG, kind of like Star Citizen, if any of you know what that is. So the device and operating system are already at the prototype stage, and we're just working on a new version of Messi. And upon hitting $250,000, the vector gear will be ready for the market within 2.5 months from November goal. We do have a 5-year development plan that we've already been working on. For example, expanding the uses of the device from just gaming, releasing a second model from 2024 to 2025 that will have its own phone inside of it, partnering with other companies, lowering the price of $400 to sell as an Oculus main competitor goal, as the optic system by itself only costs $200, and expanding to other industries over time, just as aerospace, medtech, and medical. And below, you can actually see the helmet that we're sending out with anybody who also puts our Indiegogo campaign. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Herman. So just before we move into the judge component here, let's take a minute and introduce our judges. So first up, we have Irma Nugroho, who is the Director of Information Services from the Hershey Company. We also have Aaron Kargas, who's the Vice President of Marketing and Product at Kargas Systems, Inc. And last but certainly not least, we have Jeanette Paswazaka, forgive me, the lead product marketing manager at AT&T. So we're grateful to have our judges on with us today. And at this point, I am going to turn it over to our judges to ask some questions of Herman. Thank you.
So I'm Irma again. So Herman, amazing presentation, very, very detailed. Sounds like you've really spent a lot of time, really baking this idea. So my only question is, I see that the target market is only in a select states. I guess what's the intention? I see Pennsylvania is not on the list. It's just not a problem. I was just curious.
Oh, so essentially when I was doing the advertisement campaign, what I did for a little while, I was able to base it on the United States, right? So I was able to actually take the places where the ad was actually the most popular. And I also cost myself with already like past features where I already showed where the states were. So because of that, I was able to actually find out which states would that vector gear actually do the best in. However, of course, over time, I do want to actually go globally.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great presentation, Herman. I love the way you broke down your personas, marketing personas as a marketing person, but I was curious how this connects to existing, I guess, games and software and how you plan to build those relationships. I might have missed that. I'm sorry.
It's no problem actually. So for example, one of the things, like I'm a game developer myself, right? That's kind of how all of this started. So I realized that with virtual reality, for example, we have the Oculus Quest 2 really popular, right? But I don't think it's until people are actually wearing it when they realize, man, the Oculus Quest 2 is actually pretty limited in terms of processing capability. And sure, while game developers are able to go and kind of make games cater to those limited, right? It's kind of like instead we want to create a headset where it's like game developers can create whatever they want, and the actual people who play the games get these next generation things. One of the partnerships that we're actually starting on, but wasn't this because it's so new, is we're actually trying to work with a game studio so they can go and create their own games and actually put it there. And over time, again, we do want to work with like as stuff possible.
Very cool. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome presentation, Herman. That was really, really cool. I think you're focusing on like your form factor focus. To me makes a lot of sense because I think that's one of the sticking points with VR. It seems like the market share of VR is like stuck in the millions, whereas like smartphones are billions. So how do you get it from like the market where it's at to some bigger market and more people using it? I guess. Have you thought much about like business use cases for this? Is it pretty broad? Are you going to focus it more on games and things like that? Just curious.
Oh, yes, actually, I have looked into that. I'm going to go back into the presentation just a little because right here, for example, one of the things that I was looking at when I was doing my research, the Vive Focus 3, for example, is one for business and developers. So if in the vector gear, you can't both have a corporate and or corporate device, right? And that's not only for example, being in an office, that's also for outside things. We already know if, for example, you want to learn how to do a repair or you want to go into construction or do training. However, over time, the main reason that I'm actually focusing on gaming is because it's just an easy like market to get into. But over time, we do plan on, of course, going into like a generalized thing. But it's never good to go and start generalized with a target population.
Great. Yep. Great job.
Right. Yes. Great job, Herman. Thank you very much, and thank you for this great question, judges.
Hello, everyone. So we have come up with the idea for an app called Parking Pal, and we believe that this is the revolutionary parking solution. First of all, to introduce ourselves, I'm Grant Trudenik, and I'm a Lower Dauphin High School senior.
And I'm Natty Davis, and I'm a junior at Lower Dauphin High School.
And we know each other because we've been playing soccer together for the past few years. And then we actually had this class together in marketing. We decided that we should be partners for this because we complement each other very well.
The problem, overcrowding of urban areas makes finding parking nearly impossible. With the ever-growing population, finding parking and the population has grown significantly, and having a thing like Parking Pal will have people be able to find parking spaces easier without having to circle and look for them.
Globally, 83% about 83% of the US population lives in urban areas, and 50% increase is expected in the next 22 years. So that number will be increasing to about 6 billion globally in urban areas. Parking Pal is looking to capitalize on the growing population, like we said before, and tapping into a market that everyone is a customer of. Parking. Whether it's driving to work, driving to school, or going shopping, you always have one thing in common. You have to find somewhere to park. And almost everyone can relate to that.
So our company value, the initial idea is worth 10,000, but once the app is created, we would like to go up to 75,000 because of having to develop it and make it better.
And then once we get the algorithm, which we'll talk more about later, that increases the value to 150,000. All of these are rough numbers that we've just taken from research of how much it costs to create an app and what we think that the fair value of the initial idea is, because we have not seen anything like this. The algorithm, which we will talk about here, we use the algorithm to make a synthetic stock market-like feature that allows lot managers to change the prices of parking spots based on supply and demand. They can either choose to use the algorithm or adjust the prices manually if they know maybe that there's an event coming up, like a large concert. In our area, we have Hershey Park Stadium, which is host to many different concerts, and if they choose the algorithm, it might not capitalize on that completely. We think that using stock market like feature will really capitalize on being able to allow the lot managers to adjust prices and maybe even undercut their competitors. That way they can get maximum capacity in their lots.
So our profitability, so it'll be a free app, and when it's downloaded, the user will pay 99 cents per month. A lot manager, varying by location, can change this at any time, because in some places it might be busier. than other places. So making it more like not expensive, but upping the price in busier areas because there's going to be more people who need to use it.
Like in New York City, there's a lot higher demand for parking spots than there is in Hometown. So we think that we could charge more to the lot managers to use this app, and we'd be able to capitalize on the demand there.
So the ads, we're going to put our ads in other things such as Waze and Candy Crush. These are all popular games. Candy Crush is played by all ages, and having our ad in there will get people to see our app and download it so people can use it. And hopefully that'll help spread it out as we make improvements and people like it so they will tell other people about it.
And the main purpose of Parking Pal is that we will be developing the app like we mentioned, and that will allow users to find parking spots, the number of parking spots in each lot, and directions to each parking lot. And then the lot managers, as we said, adjust the prices based on supply and demand. We think that this is completely unique, and our competitors would be Park Me and Spot Here, but they don't have anything that actually tells you the number of spots in each lot to be automatically generated by having each person that signs into a lot scan the little QR code on the lot, and that will say what spot they're in. And there's nothing even comparable to the stock market type situation that we're creating over here. So we'll roll this out in North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina to be exact. We believe that Charlotte is representative of much of the US. The average annual income is about $1,000 less than the US national average at $65,000, and they have a population density of 3,012 people per square mile. Some of the more crucial stats of Charlotte: 76.6% drive their own cars alone to work, which shows that there's a large population of drivers, which obviously the more cars, the more parking spots you need. I think that Charlotte really capitalized on all of the potential that Parking Pal brings. That is all we had. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. That's a great job. So at this point, we're going to bring our judges back up. Looks like we've already got the webcams, and the judges, let's go with 3 minutes with questions for the group, and we'll be back in a minute. Thank you.
So, great job, guys. That's a really cool idea. And it got me thinking about and I think you mentioned this in your summary, the parking apps that are out there and the way people pay for parking and all these different variations. Like some have garages with the kiosks, some have like the Park Mobile app kind of thing. Do you think your app will have a connection to those things for the pricing part of it, or do you see any relationship there between like the parking app and the payment process to what, or is this more for the lot owners to kind of manage, and put in that data around what's available?
I think, first of all, that's a great question, but I think that it's mostly for the user to find available parking spots, and then we'll branch out. And especially as the world becomes more digitalized, we'll see less in-person parking and payment things. So it'll become all virtual and on the phone, and that will kind of replace the standalone kiosks that you see. So it'll all be on the app eventually.
Great. Yep. Cool. Thanks.
Sorry, I was trying to go through and trying to understand who your ideal target customer would be for this. I know you say urban areas. So I'm from New York, so I understand the need for this. Haven't been to Charlotte, so I don't know, who your exact target market, like person, consumer would be for this app.
Basically, anyone that drives that looks for parking spots, whether you're going to a shopping center or a parking garage or anywhere where you need to park. There's always the challenge of trying to find the best parking spot. You don't want to be too far away, but you don't want to be too close and get hit by a shopping cart or something like that. So you have to be in the right spot, and you have to know if there's even availability. So you don't want to go somewhere, like how many times have you plugged in your GPS? Oh, there's this parking lot available, and then there's actually no spots once you get there, and you're kind of stuck. So we think that the spot counter would really allow users to see and maximize their time. We really want to improve the efficiency of the daily consumer.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Thank you.
Just last question from me. So I see that this app will require a lot of crowdsourcing to help, put the contents out there. For the fee for the lot managers is right now targeted at $500. What type of research did you do to set that cost for the lot manager?
We think that that would be about per month. I think that parking lots, once they're built, are typically generally profitable. Not a large cost to maintain those, because it's just a physical building. So we think that that would eat into just a small amount of their profit that they wouldn't mind to allow even more profit. Research we did, just did quite a few searches on the average income generated by a parking lot, and came up with that number just as a kind of a middle ground of something that would still give us profit without taking too much off the top of that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. It's a great presentation.
Hello, my name is Ivy DeJuice. And I'm Angelina Cabrew. And we are the head and the co-founders of the Hollow at Home, Shopping for the Future. So the Hollow at Home is basically a concept that we created. As online shopping continues to take the world by storm, people deserve to be comfortable and confident in what they buy. To provide people with that confidence, we created the Hollow at Home, an app that provides an accurate 3D model of your body so that you can virtually try on clothes before you buy them. Our goal is to provide a safe alternative to online shopping at an affordable price.
So we are a small team dedicated to help change the online shopping world for the better. So we created the Hollow at Home to provide people with a safer, easier, and cheaper way to shop online for clothes. The Hollow at Home is a 3D modeling app that provides users with 3D model versions of themselves. Using this model, users can try on clothing virtually before they buy. This is really helpful for people who feel insecure about trying to shop, in stores and having to go fit on clothes that might not fit right. So.
Problem that has faced the online shopping community is that many people are uncertain and they have a very lack of clarity with the shopping that they're doing online for clothing. If the item doesn't fit, feel, or look right, consumers have to deal with the hassle of returns. This process can be long, stressful, and even expensive. And then for vendors and merchants, the hassle returns also place a financial burden upon their company due to how long returns take and how long refunds take to process. I work in a retail store. I work at Sam's Club, and I have to deal with refunds and returns all the time. Simply one return of like a shirt takes 7 to 10 business days to process back onto someone's card, which usually can cause, a back check for the company, and it takes longer for us to process our revenue because of that.
The Hollow at Home is a perfect solution for all of these problems. Hollow at Home is an app available both iOS and Android. The app will work with any major clothing app and will allow consumers to shop and try on clothing in our virtual dressing room.
So the way the Hollow at Home is going to work is that it's simple, innovative, and easy to use. The app will scan the person's body from different angles, snapping over 80 through 100 photos of said angles. Then our digital software will piece the model together, providing the individual with a nearly identical 3D model of themselves on our app. With this models, consumers can then virtually try on clothing from any app they choose and piece together outfits to see how they fit. While this isn't going to technically tackle the issue of, oh, is it going to actually fit correctly? Only if I get a size large, I'll be able to see that. However, people will be able to see if the outfit will look right or if it'll fit correctly on their bodies.
those millennials, 5 to 40 would be like a good range, a good age that, for people to use our app. People who prefer to buy clothes online rather than in store, and people who have disabilities, medical issues that are unable to shop in person.
We do have a few competitors. Zkit is a Walmart-sponsored virtual try-on app. However, the advantage we have over this is that it's not available in the US and it's not available for non-Walmart clothing in comparison to ours that we are available in the US and we are allowing our users to try on other clothes besides Walmart clothing. Forma is a like Snapchat filter-esque, but they do have clothing for people to like basically plaster on their bodies. However, it's a very limited selection and it doesn't do a full intricate body scan. 3D Look and SizeBay would be possibly the biggest competitors we have, simply because their software competes with ours and takes body angles and snaps pictures and is able to give 3D models. However, they are mostly for companies. The advantage we have over these two companies is that we are allowing consumers to eliminate the middleman and directly get the product and be able to have the model of themselves without having to go through a specific app that like limits them to that one selection. Finally, Good Style is a virtual dressing room and does allow people to purchase the clothing directly within the app. However, it does not allow users to scan their body to see how the clothes would fit on them, and it just gives them 3 stock models of different body types. This is what our model would look like. We plan on creating the software and the app ourselves and designing it. So this is just a little prototype. So regarding our financials, the app will cost $100 to create. We will be using Bubble as our programming app creation, and we'll also be using mostly free sites such as Wix for the website and stuff like that. We will be creating the software and the design and also the security as we are fluent in programming, most particularly with JavaScript. To post the app on both iOS and Android app stores, the total initial cost will be $135. And then the ad-free version will cost consumers $5.99 a month. And an ad version can generate anywhere between $200 to $300 a day. This version will be able to generate this amount through user views. For every ad a user watches, we'll be able to earn 5 to 30 cents per view per ad for banner ads, but for video ads, we'll be actually able to earn $5 to $10. So that's how we'll be able to generate that much money per day.
We will use this on Instagram and for the small influencers to try and promote, us on their page. It will be really helpful for our company if they could.
We also plan on using TikTok. Our main idea was that for creators that do shopping hauls, content hauls, and people who have small clothing businesses, we would ask them to use our app and like promote them, trying on their clothing virtually using our app and then posting it to their following. Now this is a bit like of opposite what most people do. We actually want to target smaller creators because smaller creators tend to have a larger range since they can reach out to a lot more people who are willing to actually partake in whatever they're promoting compared to larger creators that usually have a more specific brand. In summary, online shopping has become a staple presence in the retail world, but still has its consumer concerns. The Hollow at Home provides a solution to those concerns at the fraction of the cost. The Hollow at Home will help make online shopping communities safer, easier, and more accessible. And thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate it.
All right. Hallow at Home, thank you so much. We did lose your webcam there for a second, so I'm not sure if you can turn that one back on for us because we're going to invite our judges to bring their webcams back on and to open their mics, and we're going to give the judges 3 minutes of questions. So if you want to bring your webcam back on for a minute, there we go. And
Sorry.
that's okay. That's fine.
We
All
were
right.
celebrating.
I know that's okay. No, it's a great job. I know it's exciting. It's really exciting. So, all right, I'm gonna mute and let's move into the judges QA.
Go ahead, Jeanette, if you want to go.
Yes, I love this idea. I'm a hesitant online shopper myself, so I think it's brilliant, and it also just kind of elevates a little bit on like your, those avatars that people create and just taking it to the next level, and that you guys are willing to do the work and the programming for it, I think is brilliant. I just was curious to see like um how you would integrate into the other apps. So let's say if I'm shopping across different, like Shein, for example, like how would I merge my 3D model with like their clothes and just bounce around to different apps like Amazon, and there's so many different specifics. I don't know if you've thought about that.
So we actually have thought about it. So basically, I don't know if any of you, so basically it works as a third-party app, similar to how like Klarna works. Essentially, you will log onto the app, and then once it has a scan of your body, when will prompt you to like a hey, different stores that we're partnered with that you can use. You would click on Shein, then click the outfits you want, put it in a bag, then open up the 3D model of yourself, and then it'll take a little time, obviously, but it will like plaster the outfit that you selected or the shirt or the whatever you selected onto your body like that.
That's awesome. Thanks. And I think it also could serve as like you could do a B2B model where you can sell it to companies and they can kind of formulate their own little avatars as well. So thank you.
You're
I don't have any questions from my end, but again, thank you for creating this idea. It definitely, I have not really tried any of the competitor, but looking forward for when you have this created to try yours. So.
Yeah, I agree. This was really cool. And I know there's like lots of things happening out there with you mentioned Jeanette Sheen. I didn't even know how to pronounce that. I just read about that the other day. It's like they're huge now. It's like fast fashion where you can like buy things. They have these short run production things. If you could get connected up with them or be able to actually even just work with them. And my question was the same as Jeanette's, like how is it, do you need to have a relationship with the company to get the image for the clothing to put in there? Or could you actually, use their publicly available information and have the images? Like, is it, do you have to have the relationship there, or could you go across more sites?
So you could go across more sites. Where we would need a relationship is for because we had mentioned about hold on, I'll go back to the competitors part. Sorry. So Good Style, basically they are able to like allow the user to directly purchase the clothes straight off the app. That would be the only time we would need for us to have like connections with them, because we obviously cannot sell a product that they are selling on their site. So we're simply allowing the user to be able to virtually try on the clothing, then they can go back onto the app and actually purchase the clothes. So we wouldn't have to have a direct connection with Shein or Romwe or other fast fashion places.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great.
Also wonder how this compares to like, I don't know if you've seen like on Warby Parker or like some of the eyeglass companies, like they'll let you kind of virtually try on, or Sephora I think has like a lipstick uh app that you can just kind of like try on different colors and see how it looks on you, but I wasn't sure if you guys have looked into that as well.
We have. I think I said it before. I work at Sam's Club. We actually offer a virtual try-on for glasses. So what we are offering consumers is that we are like, once again, broadening the whole entire spectrum, and we're giving them more selections. Instead of it just being facial accessories, you're now able as a user to see what clothing would look like on you. The virtual clothing market has been very limited, so we want to offer consumers, a very wide space of like, hey, we're making lots of advancements. Here's another thing that you can do to safely shop online before you purchase something. And we also were doing this is like, you see stores like Sephora or other eyeglasses places, you can physically see what you're purchasing. If you want to, you can go into the store and stuff like that. We're mostly doing this for our store, like we're mostly doing this for like online stores such as Fashion Nova and Shein, that these people are able to, safely purchase something without having to have it come in all the other stuff.
That's
And I
really,
love, yeah,
yeah.
I love that you thought about people with disabilities too, because that's such an untapped market that people don't really focus on, especially now with the pandemic and all of that. So I think that's a great solution.
Yeah, I was just gonna say like you could add, and maybe you had this in there, but like a social aspect of like if you've tried things on and then you share that, like you could get within your app itself, there could be like a social aspect, or you could share to other social platforms too, potentially.
That's a wonderful idea. Thank you so much.
Right. Thank you, Hallow Group, and thank you, judges. So
Hello, my name is Elijah Reineberg.
Hello, my name is Dylan Ticky.
We are the founders of Rectable. I am a junior at Spring Grove Area High School in Spring Grove, Pennsylvania, and I have played lacrosse for the past 11 years. I am a proud member of the high school's Rocketry Club, have participated in the Battle of the Rockets, and am considering mechanical engineering as a college major. I'm excited to merge all my interests and discover opportunities that will present themselves in the future.
I too am a junior at Spring Grove Area High School in Spring Grove, Pennsylvania, and have ran track for the past 5 years. I am a proud member of the Rocket Siblings Club, the Rocketry Club, and have participated in Battle of the Rockets, NASA Student Launch, and TARC. I am also a LenFest scholarship candidate and considering aerospace engineering as a college major. I am ready for all opportunities for advancement and growth that will present themselves in the future.
Our business examined the standard pool table and air hockey table and determined that there had to be a better option for recreational players that enjoy playing both games but demand a more affordable and flexible option. The Rec Table is the first product of our new company that focuses on making recreational games that are more affordable, easier to assemble, and made to seamlessly and easily transition from one game to another with just a flip of a switch.
By using less expensive, high-quality materials, our company will manufacture this hybrid system that can easily be assembled by the consumer. With the flip of a switch, the game will transition from one game to another. By combining the two games into one, the space required to house the two games is reduced significantly.
As our offerings grow, we will offer affordable add-ons for the consumer. This idea will be further expanded upon once the inaugural product is launched and profitable. Some of the ideas we have already started to consider include a flat tabletop that will allow our customers another area to play board and card games, a customizable package for product appearance, and a diversification package which will allow our customers to raise or lower the product to meet their individual needs.
The market for the Rec Table includes recreational gamers globally. The diversification package will be developed and included at no additional charge to reach all consumers regardless of physical limitations. As reported by ActiveKids.com, studies show that children who participate in recreational games have 40% higher test scores, 7 to 8% higher lifetime earnings, and are 15% more likely to attend college, as well as have a significant lower incidence of obesity. These benefits are also reflected in adults who participate. With these statistics in mind, the Rec Table supports individuals of all ages and ability to utilize their products.
The observable problem affecting customers in the recreational gaming industry is the product's expense, assembly difficulty, and the amount of space each gaming environment takes up. These factors could be observed as barriers to gamers. Our company's solution of the observable problem is to produce a hybrid gaming environment that can easily change from one game to another. By combining 2 or more games, our company will be cutting the associated per game cost and decreasing the bulkiness in half. To address the assembly difficulties, our product will arrive to our customers with simple assembly instructions.
The Rec Table is the first product of our new recreational entertainment company that focuses on making games that are more affordable, easier to assemble, and made to seamlessly and easily transition from one game to another with just a flip of a switch. Our company further looks to provide enhancement offers and packages sold separately.
The coronavirus has broken the borders of nations, socioeconomics, religion, race, gender, and even age. Since 2019, COVID-19 and its lasting effects have been a cause of great medical concern globally. According to the National Library of Medicine, fortunately, physical activity and exercise positively impacts mental health. Our product challenges the mental health phenomenon brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic by providing recreational entertainment, engaging both body and mind.
Statista, a leading provider of market and consumer data, reported tabletop games like our product were estimated to be around $7.2 billion in 2017. In the next 6 years, it is forecasted to reach a value of $12 billion.
on our reviews of the gaming market, we believe that our product is one of a kind. Funding will be utilized to conduct a patent search and file the associated applications. The rec table is more affordable, easier to assemble, and made to seamlessly and easily transition from one game to another with just a flip of a switch is what leads our company to be confident that competitors will not be in it.
Our sales and marketing strategy consists of an online presence including website, YouTube ads, Facebook ads, and Instagram. The incentive program currently includes a 10% discount off future purchases of all packages with a referral.
We will be using the sales revenue model that will enable our company to purchase the materials to build the next product sold from the funds generated in the prior sales, while also generating a profit from all sales.
The cost to manufacture our product is $582.90. The cost to ship our product is $85, and the total funding we are requesting is $4,007.40. This amount is calculated including our projected sales as well as a 2-month buffer. Our company determines a $900 price point, which will yield a $232.10 profit. We are expecting growth through our marketing strategies and will additionally continue to strive to lower our manufacturing costs while maintaining our product's quality. Competition seed money will be utilized to conduct a patent search and file associated applications. We will humbly accept any prize earnings and apply said earnings towards our futures, including college tuition after high school graduation in 2023.
Our company's exit strategy is to look into merging or being acquired by a more experienced and established organization. We recognize that as high school students, our future game plan is still being strategized, and we want to remain open to all opportunities as they present themselves. Ideally, we would like to continue to be involved in the company without being limited in embracing future opportunities.
We want to take this opportunity to especially thank Mrs. Sharon Collins for her willingness to mentor us through this opportunity. Your insights, challenges, and advice made this a truly great experience. Thank you.
Any questions?
All right, great job, folks. So we are going to just take a moment while our judges bring up their web cameras. Same drill, the judges are going to get 3 minutes for some question and answer. So at this point, we're going to hand it right over to the judges.
I guess I can start first here. So I see that this idea is to combine a hybrid of the pool table and our air hockey table. I mean, as the company might be growing in the future, are you considering other product or like a combination of more games than these two, or these are the two that you currently have planned on the table?
We are looking in the future to combine different types of games and even more types of add-ons to tabletop, maybe like ping pong or something like along those lines. We're also trying to like make the product fit the needs of everyone instead of just a certain type of people. So it gets like around.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi guys, thank you. Great presentation. I was curious, I have seen some of these in other places, but those like kind of 3-in-1s, but I was wondering like what materials you guys were using. You said lower cost but high quality, and what would prevent a competitor from doing the same thing or finding the same materials that you guys are using?
So right now, we planned on using a particle board that will be the construction of the main frame of the table. And the table itself, so a lot of tables on the market now are very bulky and very heavy and tend to actually flip the tabletop of the table to switch from one side to another. Our product will be more like a standard air hockey table that is the size of a pool table, and we'll be able to retract the felt of the pool table and the bumpers on the side to so that way you can use the air hockey table. So our product is different in the sense of it's going to be a lot more lightweight than some of the other products because of the particle board that we're going to be using, and it's going to be an industrial grade particle board.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah, really cool idea, great presentation. I think you actually answered my question was how does it work? And you just described that the retract, because that Yeah, I've seen those other ones before. I remember years ago, like the ones, but you had to like flip them around, whatever. So if you could literally pull off like a flip of a switch where it would transform between the two, I think that's awesome. So yeah, great job, guys.
All right. Thank you very much, Rectable Group, and thank you for those great questions. Judges?
Uh, how many of the deaths do you think it might be caused by an intervention vehicle losing time in traffic? According to a report published by the Times of India, 30% of the deaths in traffic accidents in 2016 were caused by the late intervention of the team or the inability of the patients to be brought to the hospital on time. And 50% of deaths in heart attack cases are caused by the failure of the emergency interventions on time. And we also see a similar study in Australia. According to the statistics from the Nation 2017, 20% of deaths in Australia are due to time lost in traffic by response vehicles. And considering this data, we will be able to prevent many casualties with every second we will save for the intervention tools. Do you know this beautiful woman? Her name is Sabrina Stevenson. The date was December 16, 2012. The ambulance she was waiting for was stuck in traffic for 2 hours and couldn't take her to the hospital for 2.5 hours. And this delay of intervention led to her death. Today, I'm just giving the example of Sabrina, who died at the age of 28, but she and thousands of people losing their lives due to the failure of the intervening time. And we see that there's a lot of traffic in big cities, and emergency response teams losing a lot of time trying to reach the scene in this traffic, and risks such as death, stroke, and brain hemorrhage increase in direct proportion to this time. After the call center is notified, the fastest route to the response tool is determined by the Google Navigator, and it falls on the screen of the emergency response team. And the system fixes the first 2 lights on the road to green, and the other side roads connect to these lights straight. And 5 seconds after the vehicle passes the light, everything is back to normal. And a large part of the startup consists of a software and a simple communication equipment we design. And thanks to GSM Shield, we'll provide all communication and data flow. As a traffic-free team, our team members reside in Turkey, and we're studying in private JJL schools. And our schools company supports us in participating in competitions and sponsors us. We have signed a joint agreement with our schools company for patents in our country, and we aim to complete our application within this month. JJL group of companies, which are our sponsors during the installation phase of the system and cover the expenses. If the system is listed to the Provincial Traffic Directorate in an agreed amount every year, the JJL group of companies will have 40% of the revenue as in our patent agreements, and our team as a traffic-free team will have 60% of the revenue. This planning applies for just only for the first year. In the following years, there will be no external expenses for the development of the system and the addition of innovative directions, and the system will switch to the profit from the first year. We actually aim to expand our coverage area gradually by checking the actual location, provincial traffic directorates, where we aim to market our startup, while implementing the startup in a pilot region and seeing our shortcomings. Every year, we'll make agreements with the Provincial Traffic Directorate to rent the startup annually, and we don't think that we will have any problems in the marketing phase thanks to the people we have met before and the environment we have gained so far. In our startup management, we started by finding the project idea, which problem the idea is based on solution proposal and applicability and target audience and competitor companies. And in phase 2, we created our software team from different provinces of Turkey, and we formed a professional team from Netherlands. And we decided where to start our software and which software language to use. In the third stage, we met with the Provincial Traffic Directorates, where we will rent our project and started the transactions. In phase 4, which is our final stage, we aim to improve ourselves and make our system more resonant by actively participating in national and international startup competitions. Our main cost is actually $800, and the cost of integration each 6 traffic lights into our system is $45. And in the Crow startup, which is one of the similar startup, a cost of $5 million. And in addition, our aim is not to reduce the traffic density in general, but to reduce the time lost by intervention vehicles in traffic and to minimize the loss of life and property. The 6 possible risk situations we have identified are shown in the risk matrix you see in the table. And when these situations are examined, you may think that the traffic will be interfere, but in case of a possible risk, but such a thing is out of the question. In a situation that is likely to affect the traffic flow, the old system will be switched and the traffic flow will flow as continue as it is. And I just lost a loud one last year. Her name is Arya, and she was a friend of me. She had a heart attack, and we called an ambulance. There was actually a long wait, but after 4 to 5 minutes, the ambulance arrived, but she died before she could be brought to the hospital. And after that day, I just sat and thought I couldn't save her, but I can save other people's lives. So I sincerely believe that one day our system will be implemented and we will save many lives. And our team was founded a year ago. Tasks were shared and everyone worked in line with their duties. Until we prepared the report of our startup, we worked in a stable manner without saying today is a holiday or today is a break. And we went to Technofest 2021 with the 2nd place, and we won the Best Presentation Award after the presentations were made. And we have 3rd place award in Diamond Challenge Asia Finals. And we talked about our startup by meeting with the foreign resources we obtained, and we took step towards to realizing our startup. And that is why we are very confident in our team and our startup, so you can have no doubt that we will be successful. Thanks for listening.
All right. Thank you, Nurai, with traffic free. So we'll just give our judges a moment to bring their cameras up. Looks like we are in good shape there. So 3 minutes of question and answers for the judges can start now. Thank you.
Really, really good idea. I mean, the question I have, I guess, is around integration to the traffic systems. It sounds like you're installing something at traffic lights, a separate thing. And I know I've seen like light cameras that control lights based on traffic flow and things. Is there potential integration opportunity there to existing systems?
Yeah, actually, we are going to use GSM Shield, and maybe I can explain GSM Shield. It's the Arduino GSM Shield allows an Arduino board to connect to the internet and send and receive SMS and make voice calls using the GSM library. And the Shield work with the Arduino Uno out of the box, and the Shield will work with the Meta ADK, Yon, and Leonard boards with a minor modification. So that is what we are going to use when we are connecting with the lights.
Okay, great.
So my question is, sounds like this your team is very have already gone on this journey since 1994. Has been some investment from a Cecily Group. Is that correct? So I'm just trying to understand what the investment that had been made by Cecily Group, and then what is the request as you're trying to grow the company.
I just lost the voice, so can you just repeat it, please?
Yes, so I am trying to understand. So it sounds like your company was started back in 1994, I believe. That's in the presentation, and previously there has been some investment from Cecily Group, if I'm not mistaken here. And then so I'm just trying to understand. There has been some investment. What is the next set of growth that you're looking for here?
Actually, Cecily Group is another group. I'm in private Cecily schools, so they're just our sponsors, and they've been, as I know, they've been just started to make some jobs in 1950. They're just our sponsors. So we started in 2021.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you.
but they also helped us when we make some investments.
Okay, sounds good.
Hi, Nurai. This is a really cool idea and very unique, and definitely the goal to save lives is always commendable. I was curious about your competition and I guess how you guys expect to get access to, government, basically local government and like citywide government, similar to Aaron's question, I guess, because I don't know, I mean, in the US, it's like each single city has its own rules.
Yes.
Wasn't sure how you were.
Also, it's same in our country. And during the realization phase of our project, besides carrying out many studies in our country, and we also met with the research we obtained from abroad in the other to be international. Like, we are going to be rent our project to provincial traffic directorates, like rented to New York, rented to South Carolina, rented to Virginia. It's going to be different provinces.
Okay, is that so that's the business model, is renting it or licensing the software to the different cities?
Renting a software. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Cool.
Right. Thank you again, Nurai, and
You're
thank
welcome.
you, judges.
All right. Thank you for having us here today. We are honored to be able to present this in front of an audience. Our idea is the score wire. So the score wire is an innovative tool that assists referees in multiple sports to become more accurate. The product is designed to determine when the ball crosses the goal lines or when it's out of bounds. It's basically going to be used to speed up the game and keep it moving.
So ScoreWire is basically going to be used to assist referees to have less human error. And we're also going to be using data tracking on it, so we can find like velocity of the ball, spin rate, and distance traveled. And we're going to be doing this by placing chips in the balls to be able to track everything and be able to collect data and just have it for when it crosses the goal line. We're going to have a chip, so you'll be able to see when it crosses.
So the total market is not just football. That's just what I am most comfortable with. That's what I play. It could be used in lacrosse, soccer, hockey, pretty much any sport. There's an instance where a referee misses a call that could have went the other way, and it will change the outcome of the game. Data tracking companies can also purchase this to help teams improve like the player's skill set and like what they're lacking in. Like a quarterback that isn't getting enough spin on his ball could like get the information from this device and can help him realize that.
Okay, so our consumer problem is human error, which is a reoccurring theme in sporting events, both professional and recreational, high school, collegiate. So we're working to reduce that in like the accuracy of a referee or a goal being scored. So with less error occurring and less like need to replay, we can keep the pace of play up and much faster, which is another complaint among like the NFL. I know every time a call is reviewed, it like could ice a kicker or anything that causes delay that ruins the flow of the game. And also just the lack of data in like such as football, like the ball is thrown, like you can measure all that spin rate and stuff, which isn't like a prevalent thing as much as we would like it to be. And that's another goal of our product. So our product, the ScoreWire, it can save some time and keep the flow of the game rolling. It can keep track of like any score in most games with balls. It keeps viewers entertained. There's a lot of less confusion for fans and the players and like the refs. And yeah, just keeps it rolling. Everyone entertained.
So a recent focus yet again is just keeping the game moving. Everyone wants like a high energy, high paced game. It's way better than just having to sit there and wait for calls and stuff. So yeah, we just really want the pace to increase, and just making sure the calls are correct will just help so much and brings a lot of, it'll just help the game totally. And also just the data collection has exploded in sports over the past 20 years, and we think using this chip inside the ball can like really help get to improve the game and data tracking.
Okay, our intellectual property, you could see our product being best compared to or a prototype of like an electric dog fence. So an electric fence for a dog uses a tracker on the neck of the collar of the dog, and then it'll set off when it passes a specific boundary, which is not physically interrupting of the game of whatever it's being used applied in. So once you could think as that dog crosses that boundary, it will send a shock to the dog, signifying that it crossed over. This is similar technology to how our system would hypothetically work. As the ball crosses over that plane, then a signal would be sent, in this case, maybe a siren or something signifying to a referee that the ball has in fact crossed the plane and it is a goal. And then this can also be used in not only football, but such as any sport, any level that does not have the luxury of replay or review. So in a high school sport such as lacrosse or field hockey, with the score wire installed, as a ball crosses that may not even be called from a referee, and this can eliminate that error completely. As if a ball does in fact cross, it will be set off and the goal will count. So that is what that is.
Some of the competitors are going to be Amazon with their next gen stats that they have partnered with NFL right now. That's pretty much where the data tracking idea that we came up with is coming from. Like they have distance traveled is pretty much the only one I've seen, and like speed of players running, but they don't have the in-depth as such as the spin rate and the velocity of the ball thrown. And that's pretty much what we were aiming at, like in comparison to what they have and what we think we could profit on. All right, so our competitive advantages, no more blown calls, speed of the game, improves, attracts more data. Yeah. All right, so our costs and projections would be, so for a basic setup, the underground wiring is going to cost around $1,000.
Looks like we might have lost our group for just a moment, so I'm gonna just pause the timer, and we're gonna give them.
us on a different computer.
Yeah, yeah, you're back. Let's get your webcam going. I paused the timer. You are at about 30 seconds remaining, so if you can get your webcam going again, we will resume the presentation and take your time. Everything's okay, but no webcam just yet from my perspective here. So at the bottom at the button should allow you to start your web camera. And do I still have your audio? Because we can proceed without the web camera if that is going to work best for now. Are you still with us, Ethan?
Yeah, can you hear us? We're talking from Grant.
Oh, sure. Yeah, let's go without the camera so we can keep things moving. You do have about 30 seconds. I know this is your last slide or one of your last slides, so I will go on mute and restart the timer. You got about 30 seconds.
All right. So our underground wiring is going to cost an estimated of $1,000 to set up, and then an electrical conduit underneath to encase that electrical is going to cost around $10,000, and the chips would be about $100 per football. In the average NFL game, there's about 36 balls, so $3,600. Okay, well, and our expected outcome would be any deal we could sign, such as the NFL or any corresponding league that would like to sign. So we do not have a set profit amount, but it's whatever we can accumulate from a deal with a investor.
Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. That is the 8 minutes. So at this point, we're going to bring our judges up so they can ask you a few questions about the idea here and the product. So looks like we have our judges bringing their cameras up now. So let's go ahead now. If that other machine does come back online, just make sure that's muted so we don't get into one of those fun echo loops we've all experienced here once we've moved things virtual. So, all right, at this point, I'm going to mute, and we've got about 3 minutes of QA from our judges. Thanks a lot.
So I guess I can start. So from the cost perspective, I see there's this one-time setup cost, if you will. Do you foresee maybe there's a maintenance cost or ongoing cost that we need to account for, as you're engaging with your clients?
We would actually assume that there would be no need for this, considering it is underneath the turf. It is very unlikely that it would be damaged or anything. Now, if an electrical problem would occur and we could tell based off just basic software, like maintenance, you could be able to tell, and we could be able to fix it like software without actually having to dig up the wiring, because it's not going to be physically harmed as it's under the turf or the field. And all software maintenance, such as viruses or just updates, can be run without actually having to access the physical wires.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, and if I may also comment on, I see that you highlight a lot about, the data that you will be able to collect as part of this setup. I think, data is the new money these days. I think potentially you can also monetize the data that you are going to collect and really, be able to sell that to the NFL or whichever organization that you're gonna be partnering with too. So there'll be additional income revenue generation for you, for the company.
Thank you. That was one of our main ideas with this, was the data collection.
Thank you guys. I have a few different questions, but I'll try to keep it to one. I don't know much about football, but isn't the rule number one that you can't tamper with the ball? And so how would you go across that hurdle of getting approval to add a chip to a NFL ball or even NCAA approved ball?
So there's already a experimental league that is experimenting with a somewhat similar system that we have, and the chip is almost weightless, so it wouldn't impact the performance of play, and it would just benefit the quickness and decisive of the refs.
Yeah, and also the new balls with the chips would just be like the standard ball, so it would just be like a new standard for the football. So it wouldn't really be tampering with the balls.
So is that something that would be manufactured,
Yes.
the ball, or added to the ball after it's already produced?
Yeah, so hypothetically, if we signed a deal with so Wilson makes the NFL football. If we signed a deal with Wilson, then we would implement all of our chips to them to manufacture with the ball. That way it's no extra step. It's constructed in.
Gotcha. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, really interesting and cool idea. I think the whole speeding up the game thing is really good. As far as like kind of the value behind this. The other thing I was thinking about, and I just wanted to see if you thought of it, is selling. Could you sell the ball like a lacrosse ball or something to consumers without the electrical wiring piece? Because like I remember when my son was playing lacrosse, he had hit one point he got like a really cheap like spit out like radar thing to see how fast you could throw the ball. But if you could like actually sell those to consumers, I think you'd have a massive market of people wanting to just when they're practicing, you know, have if they could register on their smartphone or something, say this is how fast they're shooting right now, or this is how fast they're throwing the football, things like that. Have you considered that as a market?
Yeah, so a possible thing we could do is almost like a portable version that you could like take with you and set up inside of a goal. Now, obviously, you're risking the chance of like, oh, it might get damaged as a ball hits it. But if it's used for like a practice tool, you could set up like a portable 2 sensors across the goal line, and then with a ball that is already chipped that we would manufacture, or we would sign a deal with somebody who would manufacture, and then you basically get the same thing with a less like permanent component of our same product.
Cool. Yeah, very cool. Thanks.
Right. Thank you, judges, for those great questions. Thank you very much, ScoreWire.
Buenos días. Nuestro proyecto nos dedicamos a el reciclaje de plástico, a la transformación y comercialización. Estamos Ricardo Rocha y Alex Rocha.
Good morning. Our company Suministros Alemar. We are headed to plastic recycling in our city and country. We are headed by Alex Rocha and Ricardo Rocha.
Nuestro problema. Cada día en nuestras calles, ríos y océanos hay mucho más plástico que contamina la vida marina y nuestros suelos, también nuestras fuentes de agua.
Every day in our streets, rivers, and oceans, there are multiple plastics that contaminate our environment.
En Colombia generamos 1.2 millones de toneladas, 4.2 millones de dólares. Recuperamos solamente el 28.1%, que son 350.000 toneladas, y desechamos 1.2 millones. No recuperamos 850.000 toneladas. O sea, desechamos a nuestras fuentes de agua, a nuestro suelo, aproximadamente 500 millones de dólares a la basura.
In Colombia, we generate about 1.2 million tons, and that in dollar is 4.2 millions, and it's only recovered the 27.17%, that in tons that is 300,000, and to 350,000. That in dollar that is 1.2 millions, and it's not recovered, and it's not recovered goes to the rivers and soils, and it's about 850,000 to 900,000, and that in dollar is 800 millions, 500 millions.
¿Qué hacemos nosotros? Clasificamos el material, lo procesamos y lo convertimos en pellets para la comercialización y reintroducción a la industria productora de plástico.
What we do in our company, what we do is that we classify the recycled material, and then we proceed to recycle that in processes of separation, milling, washing, and drying, in order to give a new material that can be used and can be reintroduced in the in the manufacturing industry. In that way, we can give a longer life to the recycling plastic.
¿Por qué nosotros podemos solucionar este problema? Nosotros tenemos la experiencia, tenemos el conocimiento y hemos hecho muchos adelantos durante nuestra trayectoria para poder solucionar el problema de la contaminación ambiental por medio del plástico.
Why us? Because we have the knowledge, the experience, and the path. During 3 years, we have seen the needs of the area, and we have explored great opportunities and possibilities in the plastic recycling. And in that way, we can impact positively the environment.
Por ti, por nosotros, por todos y por todo lo que vienen, reciclemos. El plástico es un gran contaminante, pero tenemos la posibilidad de reciclarlo. Nuestra empresa durante 3 años ha implementado métodos y procesos para poder llevarlo desde las calles y los ríos hacia la industria al reciclarlo.
For you, for us, for all those will come, our company is been for 3 years and has the chance to improve our environment. It has to improve our environment. We have seen what's happening, and we know how to do it. So we have the opportunity to change and stop the contamination that is going to our rivers and soils.
Queremos impactar de forma positiva a todo nuestro país, llevando educación a los hogares, capacitación a los recicladores, para así poder reciclar más y más material.
We want to impact our society in a positive way, giving education to the recycling and also helping the others.
Thank you so much.
Very much. At this point, we will bring up our judges for 3 minutes of question and answer. I am seeing our judges coming up now. So at this point, I'm going to mute and go off camera, and let's hear our questions from our judges. Thank you.
Great job. And I really like the mission of what you're doing here. It's really, really cool. So is the process, is the process fully built and tested out? Like, have you the process that you have laid out there in that one slide, is it how far are you along in like proving it out, like that whole process?
Yes, thank you for the question. Yes, it's being executed. It's on a lower scale, but we have been doing it for 3 years already, and we hope we can improve.
Okay.
That production.
Great. Thank you.
I think in addition to Aaron, my question would be like how much additional investment are you looking for, to make this process robust?
Thank you for the question. We need about $100,000. However, this process has started already, and due to the Ukraine war, the recycling plastic has increased, but also has stopped. So what we need is to have some more profit, so we can start with more strong.
Okay, thank you so much.
Hola Alex, te voy a preguntar en español. Gracias por la presentación. Tengo solamente una pregunta sobre el modelo de financiar. No no estoy muy clara en el costo que tienes para producir las fundas o no sé cómo, y también cómo vendes a los hospitales. So my question was more on the financials, the background of like what's his cost to produce the bags and how he's selling these in the marketplace.
Buenos días, de acuerdo. Bueno, el método que tenemos es por medio de los recicladores, que son personas que viven en las calles. Ellos pues nos venden el material y nosotros somos pues dueños de pues la maquinaria. Durante mucho tiempo nosotros procesamos el plástico, lo lavamos, lo procesamos en todo lo que debe ser y se comercializa en forma de pellets. Estos pellets se vuelven a utilizar en la industria del plástico, ¿sí? Se hacen de nuevo bolsas plásticas, envases, sillas, porque el plástico pues es el material que más se puede reciclar.
Ah, ok, ya veo. Entonces los pellets son los que se venden.
Sí, señora, vendemos los pellets y también nosotros fabricamos bolsas para uso, bolsas plásticas para el comercio, bolsas para hospitales, para todo tipo de objetivo.
Listo. Lo que ayudaría a saber como el proceso, el costo del proceso entero, como recogiendo los plásticos, el costo de transportación, gasolina, obviamente, labor
De acuerdo.
y el proceso y luego como la producción de las bolsas y todo eso. Pero muy bien hecho. Gracias.
Sí, señora, una ultimita, por favor,
¿Sí?
para explicar el proceso de los costos. Los costos aproximadamente desde comprarlo hasta tenerlo en pellets tiene un costo de $0.50. ¿Sí? Aquí de $0.50, pero estadounidense, pero al momento de nosotros comercializarlo puede tener un costo de $1, ¿sí? Por la amplia necesidad de la resina del plástico que se hay ahora mismo, las cuestiones de Ucrania, las cadenas de suministro también han visto afectado el suministro de esa materia prima.
Listo. Gracias. I don't know if you want to translate, si quiere traducir, no sé, pero. I don't know if you guys understood. I guess his cost is basically 50 cents until they produce and then they sell at $1, or I think that's what I got. Yeah. So overall per unit, it's 50-cent profit. Awesome.
Great.
All right. Thank you all very much again. Thank you, judges. Thank you very much, Alex. The rest of the session today is going to go as such. We're going to collect our audience feedback on which group they like the best. Once we're done with this segment, we are going to bring J.J. Mohan back on with a previous runner-up to the competition, a group called Valist, and they're going to talk a little bit about their experience and how they took their experience with LaunchU and used that to build on their idea. So we're really excited to do that. That's one of the best parts of these events is hearing back from folks, and their experiences with previous events and how that helped shape the direction of their idea. Once after that piece is over, we're going to bring up our mentors, and our mentors, we're going to give them about a minute each, so that we can. We're going to bring up our mentors so that they can speak for about one minute each, and give us some feedback on their experience working with these really talented and enthusiastic and passionate groups. Then at the end, we're going to have our judges. They're going to come back from deliberation. They're going to announce the winners. And then we will end up wrapping up the event today. So thank you all again very much for joining.
So, Alec, we'll jump in, but I just wanted to give a shout out to the amazing team behind pulling all this off together, right? I mean, so 3 years we have been doing this, and Justin is, without Justin, I don't think this thing would work at all. I mean, he's an MC, he's the technology behind it, and he, along with Shannon, has been running this for the last 3 years. And then, Jamal and Madonna, who's part of the CIE team, and Jamal worked this for like months in putting all of these moving pieces together. So the way I look at this is almost like a startup we do every year. And it's completely with new players and new people coming in. And as we have gone global, the challenges have become bigger. Like, we had a participant from Turkey, in a different time zone, different technology. Then we have somebody from Latin America, different time zone, different technologies. So trying to pull all this together and making sure everybody is able to present, that's an amazing job. So kudos to Jamal, Madonna, Justin, and Shannon for, making this happen. So with that, the main goal of the CI is always, to see amazing startups that comes out of this region. So having said that, LaunchU is just one part of it. So this Alec and Zach is, I would say, I now say with the last couple of years that we have done this, I say I spend some time doing startups and raising money from the Valley and all of that, and having sold the two companies. So I know how incredibly hard this is. And, it's not something you want to step in because you think this is cool or something. So having said that, this area really needs a lot more founders. And so this, the story of Alec and Zach is really one I hope that, puts us on the map. They're working in an incredibly hot space. So having said that, I don't want to steal any of their thunder. So Alec, welcome back. It's great to see you.
Thanks, Jay. Really appreciate the kind words and the warm welcome. And yeah, I definitely agree with everything you're saying. I definitely, Harrisburg's got an amazing potential. Harrisburg University has always been great for fostering our success as we've grown. As many know, and some might not know, as Zach and I were going through Harrisburg University, we were also, we established this sort of club.
So let's start there, Alec. A little bit background about you and, what's your connection with Harrisburg and Central PA? Let's start there.
Yeah, so Zach and I went to Harrisburg University for a bachelor's in computer science. Graduated in 2018. And yeah, as far as Harrisburg in general, I didn't grow up here. I came here for HU. I've actually lived all across the states, but yeah, I came here for university. Zach grew up nearby in York, and we kind of met here. And yeah, that we went through HU, computer science degree. And yeah, as we were going along, we were always working on different projects together. And I don't know if Dr. Dar remembers this, but Zach and I also pitched him a startup at one point during our freshman or sophomore year. But yeah, this is something that, we've always gone after. And HU has always been a great resource for us. Great support.
So tell me a little bit about the idea and how it originated. Start with the idea itself. So, and then, how it originated.
Sure. So the idea is Web3 native software distribution. So with these emerging technologies, with blockchain and crypto, comes a lot of these awesome security features out of the box. And so essentially what we're doing is using these new technologies to build software distribution systems like GitHub does for Web 2, and porting it over to Web 3. So people who are already using these networks for various ways can now use them to distribute their software. So you can imagine it as if instead of publishing an application to an app store that you have to request permission to, and then Apple and Steam take 30%, it's a pretty controversial thing. You can actually distribute software directly to your users, and they could purchase it directly from you without any intermediaries. So it removes a significant portion of the value that's taken from the developers and gives it back to them. So that's essentially the main idea. And it originated from a hackathon in the summer of 2020. Zach and I have been in the space for a long time, and basically just started realizing that, hey, even though we're building Web 3, everything is still being distributed over Web 2, and we're spending all this energy over here and then re-centralizing everything by distributing Web 3 stuff over Web 2. So it was kind of that realization of there's this huge gap here, and so that's where we stepped in to fill it.
So tell me a little bit about your participation in the last LaunchU, and where are you since then?
Sure.
Fast forward 1 year.
Yep. So that was right about during our pre-seed round. We raised a 1.1 million pre-seed round for that. And since then, we've basically been scaling out the team, and we iterated through a V1. And so actually just in March, we released a brand new V2. So we raised some money, we hired an awesome designer, engineering talent, and community marketing talent as well.
So what do you have to tell to the people who participate in LaunchU and the future ones that's coming along? What's the value of this? You know, you guys are probably a little more different than, you know, most of the others that coming through this, but what's your advice, how they prepare, and what's the value that something like this gives them?
Definitely. Well, a lot of this, when it comes to fundraising, essentially is storytelling at the end of the day. Humans are built from stories. You know, we used to actually memorize stories and pass them along over centuries. And so humans are very wired that way. And when you go to pitch something and you pitch your company, you're essentially engaging the other person in your story, and you're telling them this vision of what the world is going to look like if you were to succeed. So I would just really encourage trying to focus in on those key aspects when you go to pitch these products. Is A, thinking about how I win as a user by using this product, and then B, what does the world look like if you succeed? And then just being able to tell that story in a genuine way that makes sense to people is really the most important aspect. You can look at all of the metrics, the TAM, SAM, SOM, you could do all of that stuff, but if you can't tell the story properly, you're never going to be able to get someone to understand where you're coming from. So that's my biggest suggestion is practice the storytelling aspect. You're building a narrative, and then obviously you're selling your team first at this stage. So investors know things are going to change. They're expecting that, in fact, but they're really betting on, okay, is this team a good team? Are they able to do what they're saying they're going to do? And are they really onto something that I can see being a big thing? So that's the core of all of it. So definitely practice your storytelling, and then listen in on when people are giving you feedback. Pay attention to their facial expressions, pay attention to their body language, pay attention to things that they react to that you might not have expected, and then pull that thread a little bit. And if they're really excited about something, and yeah, keep pulling that thread. And you know, you'll often find these really awesome things on the other side of that.
That's, you know, it's really on the mark and amazing advice, Alec. And, you know, again, like I said, you know, it's great to see you, and it's great to see the success of Wallace and your story. And what we hope is that this inspires a whole, you know, generation of entrepreneurs in this region. And like you said, you know, I have this formula that says T squared M, which is team, traction, and market, right? I mean, I always say start with the market, and I think you guys were, you know, really racing along. And so all the people who are listening in from the attendee spot, I'm sure there are a few of you who are angel investors, who are other investors. Keep your eye on Wallace, because last time when they won, there was at least quite a few of these organizations or angels that were interested. And if I remember correctly, I think Alec and Zach said we are oversubscribed, and, you know, we're not taking any more money. That's an amazing position to be in. But again, you know, keep an eye on this company. I think this is going to be a great story from this region. So, are you guys? You know, one last question, and then we'll wrap up, because we want to keep things moving along. And Justin is it's very very insistent on that the time, and that's why this moves along very well. So, are you guys still based in Central PA? You know, how do you define your company location wise? I know these days all companies are virtual and global, but
Yep. So Zach and I are still in Harrisburg. Zach's walking distance from the school. I'm about 10-minute drive. But our team is pretty global. We have folks in Portland, India, UK, Nigeria. So yeah, all remote. But central PA still headquartered. Yeah.
Great. So, as a central PA company, we're all excited. And a friend of mine who is also part of the Ben Franklin, Joe Hackett, he suddenly popped in on the side and said, "How do I get in touch with Alec?" So, I guess that's the last question. I said that the previous one was the last question, but maybe you want to give out an email address or something
Yeah,
if people want to reach out to you.
Perfect segue. I was actually gonna say that as well. I'll put my email in the chat. Would love for anyone to reach out to me, especially the entrepreneurs here. Would love to talk to you and just see how we can keep moving your product forward, and would love to be helpful any way I can.
Thanks, Alec. And I think, the people who are reaching out are probably investors more than entrepreneurs because they are all pumped.
That works too. We're going to be doing a seed round soon, so
Right.
that works too.
Thanks again, Alec. It was good seeing you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much for spending your morning and into the afternoon with HU. It's a fantastic organization that we're lucky to have here in Harrisburg. My name is Adam Porter. I'm co-founder of Pursuit Co-working, Harrisburg's co-working space. We've been around almost 10 years now, so it's been a real joy to see the scene, as it were, grow and develop here in town. I had the pleasure of mentoring the team from Hive, Bella and Emerson, as someone with a former background in food service and restaurants, as well as having a few people in my life with particular food preferences. This idea really spoke to me, and I think can relate to so many people. So it was really a joy to work with this team and see what could really come up. As they mentioned in their presentation, there may sound to be some similar services out there, but I think they really found a niche that is quite underserved. And I think that's where a lot of great ideas come from. You have a need that you see in the world, and you think surely somebody thought of this already, but I think they've landed on something that can really take off. So again, thanks so much for inviting me to participate in this fantastic event, and I look forward to seeing who wins here in the next few minutes.
Great. Thank you so much, Adam.
All good. I'll be brief. Won't take too much time. This is awesome. I really love the innovation and creativity from all the teams that participated. The Vector Gear, Herman Remy, an outstanding young gentleman. Great opportunity to work alongside him and to learn from him as well. And Herman has a sharp aptitude for technology. He has an ambition that will surely lead him down a path of success. So I've enjoyed participating in LaunchU, and I wish this program and all participants continued success. Thank you.
Thank you very
Ron Brown. I am so honored to be here today. I am just wowed and blown away. I'm out of Los Angeles, and I am the VP of Brand Experience for Warner Brothers Discovery. And when I think about experience, the Grant and Natty with Parking Pal are absolutely amazing. They're able to quickly delve into a problem, an issue, and assess what needs to happen in order for them to solve that. And Parking Pal exemplifies them doing this. Right, they're creating a platform that solves issues for multiple target audiences at one time without changing behaviors, therefore making relatively low barriers of entry. for all parties involved to get started with their idea. I thought it was fantastic. I cannot believe that they are in high school because the business acumen is off of the charts. I learned so much from them during this process. And what can I say? I think it's a fantastic idea and they are amazing founders. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Karan, for this.
Dwayne McKee here, COO with Penny, Pennsylvania's health insurance marketplace. Just want to say a quick thanks to Dr. Dar and the HU team, as well as Jay and the CIE team, and also Justin for being flexible and keeping things going. A couple of rough spots there, and you handled that well. So also great job to all the teams. But specifically to Halo at Home, Ivy and Angelina, I think they did a great job finding an area where they could build upon current offerings to broadly improve online shopping user experience for all. Also, I think, as was mentioned by one of the judges, I believe it was Jeanette with AT&T, I was also very impressed that the team was putting a focus on assisting individuals who might have various barriers, whether they be mental health barriers, physical challenges, so that those folks who wouldn't otherwise have a rich shopping experience would have one. So I thought that was a really great idea. Regarding my experience with the team, they definitely showed perseverance. I think they started out with more members and then unfortunately had some folks bow out at the last minute. So that didn't really help them. Certainly full schedules with work, school, other extracurriculars. I think at one point there was a robotics competition that was in the way that they were attending. And then at some times they had to track down school IT staff to try to get technical issues addressed. So I expected a great experience. I had one with them. I'm very proud of the team and certainly proud of all the panelists here today. So great job, everybody. Thanks so much.
Right. Thank you very much, Dwayne. Thank you.
And thank you so much. What an amazing event. Again, this is the third year that I have been able to work with a team in the LaunchU program. And it's always just so rewarding on so many different levels. And this year certainly proved to be just as rewarding. I had the opportunity to work with Eli and Dylan and their advisor, Katie Gimbelsberger. For those of you that had the opportunity to watch their pitch, you'll recognize that Dylan was wearing sunglasses. Dylan had suffered a concussion during this competition, and yet this student team was able to quickly pivot. And I'm just impressed. I'm impressed by their initiative. I'm impressed by their partnership with one another. Dylan was able to pick up where Eli, had some challenges and really just persevered and made sure that they were both on target for today. So I'm super proud of both of them. I think that these two students have a great future ahead of them. I won't tell you what I was doing my junior year of high school, but it certainly was nothing like this. And so I just want to congratulate them for coming up with what I think is a really great idea. I appreciated the judges' comments about competition. This student team recognized that there is competition out there in table games similar to what they're proposing, and yet were able to identify kind of where they could set themselves apart in the marketplace. They received feedback. They took that feedback. In some cases, they might not have agreed with what I had to say. And I think that that's probably what I liked most about this experience, is that they had the opportunity to provide the feedback and make decisions on their own. And as entrepreneurs, that's what they're going to be faced with doing sometimes. And so I, again, just really appreciate the opportunity to partner with Harrisburg University on this. Congratulations to Jay and the entire team for yet another incredible LaunchU event. So thanks, Justin.
All right. Now, thank you. Thank you, Sherry.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Justin. It was an honor to work with Alex and his brother, Ricardo, as they built their business, Suministros Alimar. I guess my biggest takeaways, other than what has been said by my colleagues previously, is that I would say probably most of us, if maybe not all, a little experience in an environment that's completely foreign as far as different language and even different culture, and then told to perform. And this is exactly what this team did. Not only the language barriers, but also the cultural nuances that are we kind of take for granted that they had to deal with, and they managed it incredibly. The attitude was exceedingly positive, and their fortitude and grit, what I appreciate, was outstanding. The iterations that they went through, the continuous striving for improvement with their presentation and understanding of telling their story, I actually admire. One thing I've learned, and it's a takeaway, is that the problems that we're facing as a society are definitely global. What happens in one part of the world can directly impact us. We've seen that in the last 2 years of the pandemic, but it's really been prevalent all over, but we're just probably more sensitive to it. Likewise, the solutions, those entrepreneurs that can face these problems will and can have an impact on us. This is an example with Suministros Alimar. They have a passion for the environment and a passion for helping those who are have less resources, where they are working with folks who are homeless and maybe having even fewer resources, collecting those raw materials and converting that into a way to produce a sustainable and profitable business at the same time, while touching and improving our economy, the environment. So that solution and that can have a positive impact here on us in South Central PA. So, final thing is yes, I've got to say, my name is Kevin Huggins. I serve as rector of Harrisburg University, Latin America. I'm based in the Republic of Panama. Just coincidentally, happen to be in Harrisburg for a few days for the graduation. As we build out Latin America, I'm excited to work with teams like Alex and Ricardo, and look forward to working with this great event in the future.
You. First of all, we were talking about this, how difficult this decision was, how great all the presentations were, and all the ideas. And so there's so much that goes into trying to make this this decision. I think everyone here should keep pursuing these ideas. Keep working on them, even if you don't end up placing, because it is. I was blown away, and I thought this was just a great event. So. Third place. So we chose Hollow at Home for the third place. Great presentation, great concept. We are excited to see where that goes and the different, all the different avenues you might take with this. So congrats.
Congrats, ladies. In second place, we thought, it was an amazing mission-based business idea, and we definitely think that, hopefully this will help change the world in the future. So congratulations to second place to Suministros Alimar. Yay.
All right. So last but not least, congrats, Alex. So last
Thank you
but
so
not,
much.
oh, sorry, go ahead. Okay. So, all right. So, first place, again, to Aaron's point, everybody did an amazing job. I mean, the past 30 minutes for Aaron, Jeanette, and myself have been very difficult trying to decide, the top three. But at the end of the day, we would like to award the first place to Traffic Free, Nurai Yildiz. Congratulations. We hope that, you will leverage this and really grow this to save more lives in the future. So congrats, Traffic Free.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm really excited right now.
All right. Congratulations, Traffic Free, and congratulations to all our winners and all of our participants. And thank you very much to our judges and to our sponsors as well. So I'll ask that we close all of our webcams as we prepare to move on out of here. And who we're gonna bring on an individual to announce the audience favorite vote and to take us away today, and that's Jamal Jones, who is the CIE program manager at Harrisburg University. And Jamal produced today's event and has been working tirelessly behind the scenes to make sure that the event has run as smoothly as it has. So we cannot thank Jamal enough for everything he did to make this happen. And Jamal's going to come in now to take us away. So thank you all. Great event.
Thank you, Justin. And once again, thank you to all of our finalists. Well, congratulations to all of our finalists. Thank you to our judges. Thank you to our sponsors, Hershey, Merritt, and Cargis. Thank you very much to our mentors who volunteered your time throughout these past months. We couldn't have done this and couldn't have made this event the event that it is without the help and support of all those individuals. I am here to announce our fan favorite, the poll winner, which was the Hollow at Home team. So congratulations to the Hollow at Home team for being our fan favorite. Thank you to the attendees who've logged on. I know this was can be a long morning, just being here from 10:30 a.m. until now, just at 1:01 p.m. So we very much appreciate everyone's participation. Again, thank you to our judges, mentors, and sponsors, and congratulations to not just our top three winners, but to all of our 8 competitors today. Thank you so much, and we will see you all next year at LaunchU 2023.